your host, Chelsea, and this is Midwest Fright. It's Wicked Wednesday. It's the first one. Thanks for joining us. So Wicked Wednesday is where I tell horror stories. Hopefully I can enunciate things correctly. Real fast, why didn't anyone tell me how annoying I sounded in the first episode? I said and okay. And even in the other episodes, I was like, you know what I mean? Okay. Like every other word. And then I say like, why am I like this? Why is no one telling me these things? You know, I love you guys. I appreciate all the love you guys give me. It means a lot, truly, because this is something I enjoy doing. It is going to be hopefully a long time thing for me. And honestly, you guys are the bee's knees. You're the shit. The best kind. All right, let's get into the episode. I found some Reddit stories. They are short, scary. I've read some of them already, but some of them I wanted to leave so I can also experience them with you. This first one is by I Finch. It's titled, I Know Why Girls at My Church Won't Date Me. One big problem I have is that I'm a Christian guy looking for a Christian girl, like a chill Christian girl. I go to a very accepting church. My pastor has made it very clear we need to acknowledge all spiritual practices, respect all religions, and honor all gods. Very accepting, except it felt like the church wasn't very accepting of everyone except me. I just want to be wanted. Anyway, I had been striking out pretty badly lately in the dating department, so I asked one of my good friends at the church for help. We're on a group camping trip that ends in a ball in the woods tomorrow night. A couple of minutes ago, we were all just drinking by the fire, so I sat beside her. Yo, Bailey, I said to her, everyone's giving you a hard time about this ball, right? You miswrote something in the pamphlet? She rolled her eyes as I mentioned the word ball. Yes, laugh it up, Bailey said dramatically. Everyone else has. Wait, I'm here for a question. So it's a ball, right? I said. She rolled her eyes again at that word, which I didn't understand, so I blamed it on the alcohol. Well, I want to take a girl, so I'm not doing well in that area. It's really no big deal. You don't have to take a girl because... No, I want to. Help me out. How come girls at the church don't like me? I don't know, she shrugged. Come on, you know everything. Well, she slurred under the influence of alcohol. Some of my friends, you know Katie, she had like a list of reasons why we couldn't date. Like me and you. I think a lot of girls feel the same way about you. Send me a screenshot of that text, please. No. Please? No. Fine. I got the text later that night. The screenshot is hard to look at, but necessary. I settle in my sleeping bag for the night and pull out my phone to see her reasoning. He needs a better job. Fine. True, perhaps a part-time PE teacher wasn't the best job. He drinks a lot. Well, okay, hold on. I had one too many Trulies one time. If you date him, who are we going to sacrifice to Baal? Now, who is Baal? Rummaging through my tent, my hands shook in the cold, and I pulled out the pamphlet for the trip tonight. Then it all made sense. The pamphlet said the visit to Baal. The misspelling wasn't the missing. The Baal should have been spelled B-A-A-L. Baal? Like the ancient evil god Baal? A large number of footsteps gathered outside my tent. An impossibly loud bull's cry echoes in the distance. I guess somebody finally wants me. That was pretty good. So you can pronounce Baal like that or like Baal. So either one works. I really liked that. All right, so let's go on to the next one. This one is called 1 in a Million. It is by Wolfie is Back in Black. This one does kind of go back and forth on the narrator as well as the character. So bear with me because it goes from he to I. I got a little frustrated. So it's a really good one. I liked it. All right. 1 in a Million. He ran as fast as his legs could carry him. This was his chance. A 1 in a million opportunity to save his life. He didn't believe in God or higher power, but if he managed to pull this off, he might actually believe that the devil exists. Or how else do you explain a killer? A serial killer like him, not just escaping the prison, but also managing to evade the authorities trying to catch him. He had to lay low for as long as it took to get the attention off him. The first few days were uneventful, him moving from place to place, perfecting disguises, robbing people when he needed the cash. He knew he needed to do better. The authorities were looking for him all over the country. He finally zeroed down on a house that seemed empty, sat on a huge property, and seemed like a good hiding spot. He observed the house for a week. To his delight, the occupant seemed to be a young lady. It was perfect. An empty house, a hapless prey. Who knows? Maybe this could be his new base. He might even play with her for a little while. It was a 1 in a million opportunity. 2 days later, he made his move. Breaking into that house was easy. It was an ordinary, medium-sized house. As I moved through the rooms, I realized that this is what I was looking for. I finally started hunting my newest prey. As I started moving down the hallway, I saw a shadow dart across the room. Before I could make any sense of what happened, I was hit on the head and everything went dark. I woke up to a horrible headache, smell of blood, and blurred vision. I almost thought I was back in prison. That's when I realized I couldn't move. Damn, they caught me. Before I could gather my thoughts, I heard a woman say, "What are the chances of an infamous serial killer walking into my home?" 1 in a million. She cackled, looking at me with a hint of madness, a sight I often saw in myself. Before I could say something else, she whispered, "You would make an excellent addition to my collection." What are the chances I stumbled into the home of someone like me? 1 in a million. That was pretty good. I liked that one. That kind of reminded me of a book I read. Oh my God, it's by Geneva Rose. Oh my God, it gets good at the very end. The rest of it is kind of like, can we fast forward through this book? I liked that. All right, this next one is by Swagitarius23. It's called Day 1. I am so fucking excited. It's been ages since I took a break, and finally I am starting on this much-awaited hike. The best part? I am all alone. I shall move at my own pace, enjoy in the lap of nature, and relax to the sounds of the forest. Day 2. So far, I have covered 17 miles. Not bad for 8 hours of hiking. I didn't want to cover more distance since twilight was right around the corner, so I set up my tent in a cozy clearing beneath the canopy of the soaring trees. I was skeptical of being eaten alive by some animal, but hey, I'm still alive as you can see. Day 4. So I guess I was a bit overconfident. From the looks of it, it seems like I took a wrong turn. I must have covered about 62 miles since the day I started. I lost my map to a strong gust of wind yesterday, and my phone has run out of battery. Day 9. What is this place? This forest seems to be a labyrinth. How big is this forest? I shouldn't have hiked here to begin with. Day 12. I found a village. I have never been this happy to see people. I hope they help me out. Day 15. Well, I fell sick. Probably it was all the exhaustion and the wild berries that finally caught up with me. The villagers have been kind enough to let me rest here until I recover. I should be up and running any day now. Day 23. Still sick, or let's just say in a worse state. Also, the people here are kind of creeping me out. They don't talk. They just nod their head as a form of communication, as and when required. They seem to understand what I say, though. I don't think they sleep either. I hear weird noises throughout the night as they are practicing a ritual. That's the only time I have heard them vocalizing. I tried getting out of my tent to see what's happening, but my body feels way too heavy to even move a limb. Day 32. They keep staring at me while I sleep. I know that for a fact because they come inside my tent before I fall asleep, watch me as I nervously fall asleep, and when I wake up, they're still there. These days, the rituals have been happening around me. I once woke up, but I was too scared to open my eyes in the fear that I might see something that I wasn't meant to see. I feel like I'm at death's door. I feel that they won't let me leave. Day 38. I need to hide. I need to fucking pull myself together and run away. These people are insane, and I can't stay Ooh, what do we think happened? That gave me goosebumps, actually, because that seems kind of like a wrong turn type thing. That was pretty good. I liked that. But who the fuck is hiking 17 miles and 62 miles of that, dude? You did that to yourself, bro. Fuck that shit. All right, this next one is by Emotional String 7170. It is called The Window That Wouldn't Open. It was close to midnight when Adam stumbled into a rundown hotel on the edge of a desolate road. The rain poured relentlessly, and the neon vacancy sign flickered faintly. The elderly woman at the front desk handed him a random key labeled Room 34 without much conversation. The room was as dreary as Adam expected. Faded wallpaper, a musty smell, and an uncomfortable bed. He tossed his bag onto the floor and noticed a window at the far end of the room. It was tightly shut with a sign taped to it that read, "Do not open." Adam snorted. "Great, not suspicious at all," he muttered, rolling his eyes. Despite the modest air conditioning, the room remained stuffy and suffocating. He ignored the sign and went to the window, jiggling the handle. It wouldn't budge. Frustrated, he grabbed the screwdriver from his bag and pried it open. The wooden frame creaked loudly, as if resisting his efforts, but eventually the window slid up. A gust of cool, fresh air flooded in, and Adam sighed in relief. That's when he noticed them. Rusty nails, bent and corroded, lined the outer frame of the window. They had been hammered from the outside, as if someone had gone to great lengths to seal it shut. Adam's stomach churned slightly, but he brushed it off. Probably some over-the-top weatherproofing, he told himself. The next morning, as he retrieved his breakfast sandwich, he casually brought up the window to the innkeeper. "My window had a do not open sign on it. Any reason why?" "The AC did not help with the stuffy air. Sorry, I had to crack it open." The woman froze, her smile faltering. "You opened it?" she asked nervously. "Yeah," Adam said, frowning. "It was nailed shut from the outside. That's weird, isn't it?" Her face turned ashen, and she clutched the counter for support. "Those nails, they're not there to keep the weather out," she said shakily. Adam's brow furrowed. "What do you mean?" She hesitated and then leaned closer. "A few months ago, a man stayed in that room. He was troubled. During one night, he opened that window and jumped to his death." She paused. Soon after, guests started hearing whispers. Some even said they felt someone trying to push them towards it. We don't have the budget to replace it yet, so we nailed the window shut. Not to keep it from opening, but to stop him from calling anyone else. Adam's blood ran cold. You're joking, right? The innkeeper didn't reply. She just closed her eyes and shook her head slowly. Adam paced back to the hallway to retrieve his bags from the room. As he passed the window, something caught his eye. In the glass's reflection, a man stood behind him. His face was pale. His lower jaw hung open, his eyes sunken and bloodshot. His hands, bent to unnatural angles, were seen gripping Adam's shoulders. As Adam spun around, the light flickered and went out. Oh, that was spooky. Yeah, no, if hotels do weird things, leave it alone. Just ask, don't mess with it. Don't fuck with it. Just ask the lady and be like, hey, can I get a different room? This one smells weird. Thanks. Yeah. All right, we have time for one more. This one is by a stealthy boy. It's called Rat Problem. It started with flies. I just couldn't seem to get rid of them. I killed one and then another. Maybe two more would appear. I would dedicate a whole campaign to fly swatting, then soon found my floor to be littered with their carcasses. Then came the rats. I would wake up to the sound of clawing and tearing a fabric. I turned on the lamp and looked at my feet. There was a rat tearing away at my bed sheets, getting fabric for its own bedding. As soon as the light turned on, it jumped off and fled, with its cotton treasure tucked in its mouth. Soon I would find little nibbles of the food in my closet, off my fruit basket, even in my fridge. I even caught them in the act some nights, but the little bastards were too fast for me to grab with my hands. They would leave their dung everywhere, on my couches, on my carpet steps, which I had just refurbished. I couldn't call an exterminator. I had to deal with this myself. Every night I would lay rat traps and poison, both store-bought and homemade. It would work, but seemingly never enough. My trash can by the end of the week was full of rat bodies, and the problem seemed to be getting worse, not better. What were they feeding off of? I put the rest of my food in secure containers and ensured the fridge was locked and sealed. There shouldn't have been anything to attract them. One night, while I was traversing my house, carefully looking and listening for any clues, I heard the unmistakable sound of the rat scampering. After a moment of listening, I could hear where it was coming from. I ran up to the living room walls next to the fireplace and banged on it. I heard a whole mass of tails and little hairless legs shift at once. I kept banging on the wall until it cracked, and then I began to peel away the paint and wood, clawing and pulling out the wooden frames of the wall as I dug in. Eventually, I peeled it all away, and what fell out of the hole was a black mass, a void with red and black little beady ways that fell and separated, scampering past my feet. Then all that was left was the body. She had been dead for a while, but you couldn't even tell. Her eyeballs were gone, but if they had still been there, I am sure they would have been staring back at me. Her skin was eating away, along with her muscles being munched on, some to the bone, which had also taken experimental bites. That stupid bitch. She causes problems for me, even in death. Damn. Some of these writers, they got problems. They got lady problems, I think. That was a good one. Whew, okay. I hope you guys enjoyed that. So that was our very first Wicked Wednesday. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Maybe listen to them on the ride to work, while you're doing some house chores, because every day can be a spooky day. At least that's what I would like to think. I don't know. This is stuff that I've always been into. I've always loved, scary stories. I remember my mom, love you, Mom. She had bought me, it was this this book full of 10 horror stories. Okay. And it probably sounds like I'm saying horror stories, but I mean horror stories. And there was one, it's always stuck with me. I did it for a speech class at a contest we had, and it was called Have No Fear, Crumb Pot is Here. And if I can find that book, I may read some from that because I always loved it. She got it at Hastings. R.I.P. Hastings. We miss you and we love you so much. Always in our hearts. OGs know what that is, especially in our little area. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed these short stories. Again, I found them on Reddit, and they will be linked down in the show notes, as well as my YouTube, Spotify, Patreon, which I have now joined. So if you would like to show some support, there are 3 tiers. I think one's $3, another's $5, and then one is $10. I plan on doing some really cool stuff for the people that decide to donate, because that would really help out a lot. And I plan on doing this for a while because I thoroughly enjoy it. So yeah, hope you guys keep listening. Thank you so much for listening. Find me on YouTube and Spotify. I have now created a Twitter page as well as a Patreon. Just search Midwest Fright Podcast. You can email me at midwestfrightpodcast@gmail.com. Talk to you soon. Bye.